What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight, and this is Chaos Central's The Book of Boba Fett Roundtable, Group 1 for Chapter number 7, the finale of The Book of Boba Fett. We're going to talk about that, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and maybe a little bit about where we think this is going to lead to at the end of all this. So let's go ahead and start off with the 4 people I've got with me. Anzo might be here in a little bit. We'll see. And Luis Sparrow, I Love Food. Thank you guys. Tweet this out or put it on your favorite social media and let everybody know we're live. We're going to start with everybody first. Comic, Danny, tell everybody about yourself and about your channel, please.
What up, what up? I am Danny Graham, aka Comic Chat. You can find me on this channel on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I won't be on there tomorrow night because tomorrow being Valentine's Day, so I'm going to have to spend that with my wife. But I will be back, hopefully, if we do something. I think we'll take next week off, if I'm not mistaken. I think also may do something Friday. I know he's put something together. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but in some shape, form, or fashion, you should see something from one of us. But yeah, I look forward to talking about this last episode. I think the show's going to be good. Thanks for the invite.
No problem. Glad to have you here. Up next, we're going to go to Nindroid. Nindroid, tell everybody about your channel and what you got going on.
Well, you guys can find me eating hot wings over at Nindroid243. Yeah, I'm currently eating hot wings right now. Go check me out over there. I did post my final trailer for my fan edit called From the Darkness, my version of episode 9. So if anyone hasn't seen it, please go over there and check it out. A lot of hard work is being put into that. And I can't wait to discuss about this episode, Chris. So, yeah.
All right. Excuse me. Let's go to the Austinator. Austinator, tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
Well, you can find me reading the EU on my channel. Just check me out there. I do a bunch of stuff over there. And find me, you could. Well, I'm just on the Chaos Central channel. Sometimes, whenever we do these roundtables, found me usually on the Real Review 3000 for the weekly wrap up. Wasn't on here this week because I had some school stuff I had to take care of, but I was able to get done before the stream, so that's some good stuff. You can find me on the Hangout on Wednesdays on the Basco Scenario Guy Scars channel, and you can find me on Fridays on Ninja's channel for Galactic Chat and other streams. You can find me on the Jason Lee Tucker Statement, where we do the late night snack show, where it's late on Friday nights. We just talk a bunch of stuff, and you can find me on Twitter at the Osnator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Come check me out, and also find me on the Chaos Central Twitter. Chris, thanks for having me on. Oh fuck, we gotta talk about this episode, don't I? Shit, I've talked about this episode so many times already. Like, damn.
We do. We all, like every channel that I've gone on to is talking about it, which is kind of funny that people are sitting there going like, oh, I didn't like this series or whatever. Really quick though, I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel. That's ADHD for YouTube. Basically how I describe it. Everything, anything, sometimes what you don't expect. Also, please do subscribe to Chaos Central. If you're watching this after the fact and you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you know people who are not subscribed, please have them come over and subscribe. Also, check out our Twitter. Austinator runs that. And we have an Instagram. But I want you guys also to take a look at chaoscentral.com. Now, if you're watching this after the fact, please understand we do a lot of different roundtables here. We do a lot of different shows. 3 shows are a guaranteed fact as long as we are here on that week. Sometimes we take weeks off, a week here, a week there. And those are the 3 shows. Chaotic Conversation on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Chaos List at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the Rule of 3 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So check that out. With that said, let's get to this. We're going to start with Danny, and we're going to talk about what our overall thoughts were about this episode. So, Danny, what were your overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts is there are some things that if other things were done would have made better sense. But what I got overall for the ending, I don't hate it. Is there room for improvement? There are things that could have been done different that made sense. I will agree to some things, but as overall, is this something that I say that was trash or garbage? I wouldn't. Um, I was satisfied with the ending. So
Okay.
overall, I like it.
All right. Very good. Nindroid.
Overall, I actually have to echo with Danny. I'm satisfied with the ending. Even though, in my opinion, they also WandaVision this shit. So yeah. That's my overall thoughts.
All right. Very good. Ostinator.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to be the different one because I did not like the finale. It was definitely lacking in a lot of parts. There were a couple good things, I will say. It wasn't garbage. I'd call it underwhelming. Like, I at least appreciate that it was an hour long, but there are a lot of problems with it that kind of take away from this episode.
Okay. There were a lot of things I liked in this, and then there were a lot of things I think again go back to. I think it's Robert Rodriguez who doesn't understand Star Wars and doesn't understand what needs to happen. There were some very glaring errors when it came to some of the stuff we saw in the show. So we're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about what we did like. So, Danny, what did you like about this?
I like the fact that him and Cad Bane met off and did the kind of gunfighter thing. It was very interesting. I like the part where him and Mando went out there and we saw the true skill of Mandalorians and their skill set. They killed, I don't know, half a dozen, maybe more than that, a dozen people quite easily with the jetpacks and the different array of weapons that they have. I didn't hate when he went and got the Rancor because it made sense in how you do it. Now, I know some people are going to say, why didn't he go get the Slave One ship? That is a good question. But I guess they put it in place 3 or 4 episodes ago when they said that the first person that the Rancor see, he would kind of imprint on, kind of like the Twilight thing. And since he imprinted on Boba Fett, since he was the first human he saw, first person he saw, then I guess in his mind that was a tool that would do the job. Would it have done it as efficiently as the Slave One? Probably not, but there's a route that the writers and the directors choose to go. So it didn't look stupid to me. I actually like everything about this. As far as the fighting scene and stuff, the Wookiee. There was a minute when I thought he was gonna get killed, but I was glad to see that he didn't get killed. And look like the Power Rangers people, they kind of step up their game a little bit. Some of the stuff was a little bit over dramatic and stuff, but more or less. And then of course Fennec, man, at the end, how she took out those crime bosses, man, was pretty smooth. So overall, there's quite a few things I like. There are a couple things I'm gonna have to put in negative, but those things that I just mentioned is definitely things that I liked about the episode.
Okay. And let's go to Nindroid. What did you like about this episode?
Okay, so I'm actually gonna have to echo a lot from Danny. I loved seeing Boba Fett's and Mando's like interactions with each other. I love, like Mando's like, no, I'm gonna stay. This is the way, and all of that. I love all that stuff. I love the whole fight that happens with the two against the Pikes. I also actually surprisingly enjoyed the Pike. I meant not the Pikes, the Rancor. The idea of the Rancor was very silly, and I thought it was going to be cringy, just like Anakin riding that one creature on Naboo in Attack of the Clones. But no, it's menacing. It felt earned, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed also Grogu calming down the Rancor as well. Also, every single scene with Cad Bane to me was on point, and I also liked that Boba Fett used both ways. You know, him being a mercenary and also him being a Tusken to defeat Cad Bane and all of that. Which I do think Cad Bane's dead. So, you know, I like probably the majority of this episode. You know, also I liked Fennec's fight at the end with all the crime bosses and all that. That was on point. That was fire, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Okay. And let's go to the Austinator. Austinator,
Well,
what did you like?
I guess I'm gonna have to echo. I like the Rancor. I mean, it wasn't as cheesy or stupid as, you know, basically everybody thought it was gonna be. Like, I thought it was gonna be something really just not as great, but they did it in a way that was cool. You know, that I think I'm gonna call them super droidicas because that's what they remind me of, super droidicas. So when the Rancor is like beating up the super droidicas, I'm like, okay, that looks kind of cool. Like, the visuals in this episode are good. I will say that the visuals are great. The stuff with Cad Bane and Boba, their interactions were great too. With Cad Bane taunting Boba throughout, and you know, their little fight at the end. I thought the fight itself was great. There were some action set pieces in the episode that I think looked good. And of course, Fennec, you know, killing all the killing all the heads at the end, man. That was again, that was the best, probably, again, a really badass thing. You know, I mean, other than that, I mean, I really don't have much else to say about much positives with it, but
Okay. So what did I like about it? I would say the Cad Bane stuff was pretty damn cool. I mean, I think they did a really good job with the way he looked. I think they did a really good job with the way he talked, everything like that. It looked like Cad Bane, felt like Cad Bane. I think the really big positive of this was Boba Fett actually kind of looked like what I think Boba Fett should look like. He was kicking some ass. He was doing, he took some hits, but he kept going. I mean, him and the Mandalorian, that scene was pretty kick-ass with the two of them together. The Fennec Shand thing at the end was pretty cool. Her scenes were cool. The Rancor was all right. I didn't hate it. I think it was done pretty well. Looked cool. That's like the first time we've actually seen a Rancor live action, which I know it's CGI, but it's the first time I've seen the Rancor actually, moving and doing a lot of different things. The only time we've really seen a Rancor in a live action film was Return of the Jedi. And let's face it, there's very little. And of course, they did the absolute most they could when that came out. I'm surprised it isn't one of the things that Lucas added to when he did, the work to it. But I think they did a really good job. Let's see here. What else? I will say that the way that they killed Cad Bane, while that's going to go more on the second part of this, I will say that they did have his breathing apparatus still beeping and still working. So the fact that he could technically still be alive, I like that idea. What else? I liked the scene where the X-Wing comes in. I think it's interesting. And I'm not even going to talk about Grogu being in it. I'm talking about the X-Wing. The fact that we see that R2 can fly the thing by himself. We know he can. It's really interesting to see them use it in this application, which is, I guess it's interesting because we've never actually seen it like that. Like, if you had a child that you had to save and you had a location across the galaxy that you knew you could send it to and it'd be safe, but you yourself knew that you were in peril or would die. It's very interesting to see with an astromech that you could put this child in a ship like that and send it wherever you needed to. That kind of lends a lot of different things to what Star Wars can do with it. And I know it seems silly to think that, but it's something we've never seen as far as I know. I don't know if it's in the Clone Wars or not. We know droids have their own ships and stuff because of the Clone Wars. We know that, droids do fly because we hear Luke talk about, I know I want to keep it a manual for a while. We know this, but to actually see a creature who cannot fly this thing be flown from point A to point B is something I don't think we've ever seen in Star Wars. So I think it lends a lot of interesting things as far as the application of how they can use that later on. So let's talk about what we did not like. So let's start with Austinator, because I'm sure Austinator's list is probably a lot bigger than most of ours, but we'll go to Austinator. Austinator, what didn't you like?
Well, let's start with the glaring ones. First of all, the stupid 360 spin the freaking Power Ranger guy did just to shoot a pike. I'm like, that had to be one of the most stupidest and most lamest things I've ever seen. Like, all he did
Which part?
Where the Power Ranger did the 360 no spin.
Yeah.
That was
and
dumb.
Did you notice that the Matrix slowed that down? It's almost like in bullet time. It's like,
oh my god! No, I didn't even notice that until
go back and watch it. It goes slower than the rest of it.
Like, I saw a meme where it was like that scene, but then you hear in the background, like, look at the spin move, and then you hear somebody say, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. Like, honestly, that made that shit much more interesting. But
yeah.
Also the fact that you have this freaking quote unquote war, this quote unquote battle, and literally there's not a lot of destruction. Like, the sand is so indestructible to the point where you don't see nothing fucked up. It's like, and also like I think it was like one of like the carrier ships where like all the guys are coming in like that took a lot of hits too. And I'm just like, okay, like it's kind of hilarious to me that stormtroopers have shitty armor, but yet the sands of Tatooine can withstand freaking so much. It's just like,
well, if you remember, I'm gonna echo kind of what you're saying about some stuff here when I get to it, but I'm gonna also say this: that carrier ship that the Freetown people came in on, that is the same type of armor as what we saw on Jabba's barge, and it took tons of hits, and it took the actual deck gun to explode it. So, now the sand thing, I will totally agree with you on.
Another thing that I was not really thrilled with is I get it. I know that Grogu makes them a shit ton of money. I know I'm still waiting for the Ragu sponsorship eventually, but the fact that Grogu goes back with Mando, it kind of shits on the season 2 finale of Mando a little bit. It doesn't make it that impactful when you realize, oh, literally a season later, he's like back with them. It's not even in the Mandalorian, you know? It's like, okay, whatever. And then Luke kind of comes off as he does not come off as he comes off as like sort of a dick a little bit, where he just sends Grogu by himself. And then of course the lady goes to get him. And and then she's freaking driving in the thing, and she's like, hey, man, like, he literally waits while the battle's going on to be like, hey, Mando, guess what? I say something. I'm like, no, what the fuck you doing? And then she throws, like, the thing at the droid. I'm like, oh, my God. Also, the Twi'lek guy, that he kind of irked me, even though the scene where he came out was like, hey, listen, I kind of need you. I want to negotiate here. And then it says, all right, well, they want nothing. It's like, even though that scene was funny, I felt like Grogu coming back was just so dumb, and just Cad Bane being killed off here, quote unquote. I feel like it kind of sucks because I really wish we had more time with them than just 2 episodes. Like, because you have to factor in too that there's a lot of casual fans that would be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like hardcore Star Wars fans, you know, who've known Cad Bane to, you know, from Clone Wars, Bad Batch, you know, it's like they know who Cad Bane is. There's also a lot of casuals that won't know who he is. So it's kind of like you could have, like, not necessarily kill him off, but you could have, like, we should have, if you're going to kill him off, you could have had maybe him, like, in 4 episodes rather than 2. But I just thought the death was just a little too soon for me. And
do you think he's dead?
Well, from what I see, it looked like it was still beeping. So I'm going to say that it's possible he's still alive. They haven't confirmed nor denied it, just like Mace Windu, because Mace Windu technically has not been confirmed nor denied as dead. Because let's face it, him getting his arm cut off and getting hit with Force lightning does not mean he's dead. Because we've seen Anakin get hit with Force lightning and get his arm cut off. He didn't die. It's like Mace Windu is like one of the most powerful Jedis. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but the fact that, you know, people say, "Oh, he's dead." No, he's not dead. Like, trust me. We've seen, and he didn't even die on camera. It's like he gets thrown out the window. Like, everybody gets thrown out a window at some point in Star Wars. So it's like, but that's neither here nor there. The ending where Boba was like, "Oh, I'm not cut out for this." It's like, there's 2 ways you can take it. I took it one way where it's like, it kind of felt like you just made the show an entire waste of time, especially with him being like, "Oh, you know, I'm not cut out for this." And then it kind of pans to the Power Rangers. And I just, that was not executed well. If it was a joke, like, it kind of came off to me as like, "Oh, well, never mind. I don't want to be the crime boss anymore." Like, it was just, that was dumb, badly executed. And I think that was just this entire episode. It was just a lot of bad execution, even though there's a lot of good stuff in it. It just fell flat. Like, there was nothing, like, I wasn't expecting any huge cameo or whatever, but if you were going to have like a cliffhanger, you could have done something a little more interesting than what we got. It's like, it just, I don't know. I think as a finale, I'm not really like let down, but it's like you spent 2 episodes not even focusing on Boba Fett, and you didn't really develop the story enough to where it would have been impactful. So it's kind of like you basically had 2 episodes that didn't really develop the story that much, and you had a half-assed finale. It's like, that's not really a great thing. They really had no excuse this time around. Like, it just, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. I thought it was very underwhelming. And Black Chrysanthemum, I mean, he was cool in it, but I felt like he kind of took too much damage to where, like, it kind of comes off at times. It's like, all right, really? Like, this man got shot like 15 times. Like, is this guy going to, like, I thought this man was dead, like, a few times in the episode. I'm like, oh my God. But even then, I thought he was cool. But other than that, it was just, this finale lacked a lot, and those are my negatives.
Okay. Nindroid, what didn't you like?
Okay. Okay. Well, number 1, the editing. Okay. This was probably the worst editing out of all the episodes, you know, this season. You know, I have to echo Chris from the Hangouts on Wednesday. The whole thing with Fennec jumping on the roof, and then we see the bike right there and all of that with the mods. Oh, to me, that was shit. It's like you could have just simply cut that out, that entire sequence, and it would have not changed anything. And then a lot of scenes were like misplaced, even if you go look back. It's like they could have rearranged it a lot better. I will also say that spin move, that spin move just makes no sense. The whole thing with, like, the mods were better, I will say, in this episode, but that spin move was just so annoying. Like, oh my God. Also, and I know I'm getting over here, but the post-credit scene, just seeing that one mod dude back again, the guy who looks nothing like Star Wars whatsoever, just seeing him around the back to tank, that to me, I'm kind of worried about that. that's basically right there. Also, and this is, I'm kind of in the middle, so I'm just gonna put it more to the dislike area. They made the war feel like, oh my god, this is such a huge thing in the second to last episode, and then it just turned out to be just a small battle. It's not even a war; it's just a battle, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, I was expecting some other stuff because other things would have made a lot more sense and all of that. I want to see, and yeah, I know Danny's going to be a little bit annoyed that I'm saying this, but I want to see, like, the Pikes work for Crimson Dawn, like that confirmation, or see.
Yes, you said it.
So, Kira, make Solo somewhat have a purpose, please. Like something like that. But nope, it seems like Disney's too stupid.
Put it on the bingo card.
So yeah.
I think that's what we're going to do from now on when we do these. Is we should have bingo cards. What is people going to say? Like if LEG were to show up to a Marvel roundtable, he's going to say something that's going to be like, "This sucks. This is bullshit. This isn't the way it is." And then he's going to revert at some point or another. He's going to mention WandaVision. Although you already mentioned WandaVision. So, anyways, continuing Ninja.
Well, yeah, they basically WandaVision this shit.
There is some truth to that.
Yeah, there's some of it, all right? Not fully, but there's some of it, And I'll even take what Austin said with I took as a joke his comment with the whole, I think we're not cut out for this and all of that. But to me, it should have been better executed than that, and that's really it for my dislikes. Also, yeah, the whole sand thing with the buildings, that makes no sense whatsoever. So, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, Danny. What did you not like about this episode?
The first thing to me is killing Cad Bane. I thought that was really an idiot move if he's in fact dead. But we don't know whatever his species anatomy. Like he put the spear thing through his heart, but his heart could not be in the same place as ours. So technically, he still could be living. We don't know. I haven't researched that far. Also, that box could still be on because I just read something recently that he used that breathing system so he couldn't be force choked by Jedi. So it still could be actually functioning. He still could be dead if he's in fact dead. So I don't know. But if he is dead, I think that was a dumb move. It made more sense for Boba Fett to go back and get the Slave One versus the Rancor, but I see how they set it up in whatever episode it was with Danny Trejo and Anzo called it. He said that since we saw it, we're going to see Boba Fett riding the Rancor. But the definition I used on a recent stream I did was that when we first saw Venom 2 and we saw Venom preparing food for Eddie, it's like, oh man, that looks dumb as hell. That looks dumb as fuck. I don't like that. But then once we saw it in the proper context, it made sense, and I gave it a pass because he was actually trying to cheer up Eddie because Eddie had just got the news that his lifelong the love of his life, was going to marry somebody else, and he was sad and depressed. And Venom was in fact trying to cheer him up. So when I saw it in that context, I said, okay, it's still a little silly compared to what we saw in the Venom that we know, but I can give this a pass because it makes sense on how they did it. This makes sense to me when I saw it. Him riding the Rancor, because that time he felt like he didn't have, and even Mando said it. You have any more friends? Well, he knew that the first person that Rancor saw an imprint on would be him, and he said, "I want to ride it." So, in fact, it did easily help destroy the first one. The second one gave a little bit more problems, and I didn't like the King Kong moment. him climbing up in the building. I thought, well, if he swiped down a fighter, that's going to be Shadow of King Kong. He didn't do that, but it was shades of King Kong. When I saw it, I kind of chuckled and say, they could do without that. Overall, could this series have been better? I'd be lying if I said no, it couldn't have been better. But is this series trash? No, it's not trash. So it has a few things that could have been improved, a few things that I didn't necessarily like, but not nothing that makes me say I hate this. But the things that I named, and I will echo a little bit what Ninja said. I was really, really afraid for and scared for the Wookiee, Chrysanthemum, whatever his name, because man, he must have shot him at least 6 to 10 times, and he just shrugged it off. I knew that Wookiees are durable, but I didn't know they could just shrug off laser blasts like that. But of course, he did it. But those are little things that just kind of I could care, not say I hate, but could have made a lot more sense if we'd done something else and things I could have done without. I definitely don't like the fact that if Cad Bane is in fact dead, I think that is a big mistake. But Disney has a history of killing off good villains, so I guess it's par for the course.
Mm-hmm. All right. I still don't think. Hold on. It says I scratch my head on how Danny can like this show so much. Then I remember he likes CW shows. Jeez. I don't think that Cad Bane's dead, but if he is, I'm with Danny. Horrible decision. I do question the Rancor. If you're going to go all the way back to the palace, you grab the slave one. Now I've heard people say, "Oh, well, hey, the blasters wouldn't go through the armor of the droids," and I'm like, I don't know about that. I think it would, but who knows? They decided not to do it that way. We knew the Rancor was going to. The two worst things about this episode in the last 3 weeks is the fact that you couldn't have taken a more precise calculation as a calculus or a geometry person and drawn a straighter line than they did with Grogu and with that Rancor. There's no way. Literally, they didn't even try to act like that was not going to happen. They absolutely 100% telegraphed that. And I hate when shows just blatantly telegraph stuff. Nindroid said the editing. When I watched it the first time, and then I really liked when Fennec Shand came in and she did the the little flip, the kung fu flip or whatever, and I was like, wow, I like that. I like she shot and she saved the mods. I was like, that's cool. And then, as an editor, you do a great scene like that, and then she walks through this arch that's right in plain sight of those mods, and there's her freaking speeder bike, and it's like, did they just not pay attention? I mean, I understand that you're getting shot and all that, but they're hiding behind this thing. You don't think they look and hear the sound or something? It's like, are we even thinking about how this looks? And so that was probably the worst single-handed thing in all of this. And that goes back to not understanding Star Wars. I think we'll get one, Shifty. But the whole Grogu thing at the end, pointless. Why? I mean, I understand. I went back, I read, what they were saying about what this show was supposed to be, and it kept on seeing Mandalorian 2.5. So there's a lot of things I'm going to give them a pass on. And the two episodes that the Mandalorian was more involved in than Boba, a lot of that stuff I was okay with because that Mando 2.5 reference. But I'm with Austinator on this. Single-handedly, just bringing back Grogu is so pointless because it totally negates the whole idea of the first two seasons, not just season 2, but the first full 2 seasons of Mandalorian are now pointless. Why did he go through all of that? Why did he go and take him to the hill that he, meditated on, the connection happened and all that? It's like, it means nothing now. It's pointless. It's horribly pointless. And why would you do that? I mean, it's like, all that work they did to build up to the Luke Skywalker moment with Grogu and all of that. And now you basically throw it out the window. And he doesn't add anything to this series. If you wanted to do that, you can do that in The Mandalorian. It does nothing for the series. I mean, and I know everybody's going to say, well, he used the Force and all that and whatever. And it's like, you didn't have to have it like that. I didn't understand. Boba Fett wasn't gone that long after the Cad Bane fight. Why didn't he go find the Rancor? He knows the Rancor is stomping around the whole damn place. The Pueblo style buildings that are here in Mos Espa, all of them were being shot apart and falling apart. I mean, it was blowing things up. I mean, those they were breaking and shooting all these walls, except for where all of the Freetown people were when they were right there. That one wall was the strongest freaking wall ever constructed, because it kept on shooting it and nothing happened to it. You just got to understand what you're doing with this. So that's some of what I didn't like. So let's go and talk about our final grades. We'll give a final grade for this episode, a final grade for the whole series, and then we can talk about how we think it's going to lead into other things in the Star Wars universe. So let's start with Danny. Danny, go ahead and talk about what you grade this and the whole series, and then where do you think this leads us in the whole Star Wars universe?
This episode, I'm going to give it a probably a B plus. For the series overall, I'm going to give it an A minus. I like the show. A lot of things I didn't know about Star Wars, I learned here. Could have been better. Most definitely, they could have done things differently that would have made the story a little bit better. They could have. And to respond to I Love Food, I watch these shows. I don't take what somebody says or watch one or two CW shows and say, "Oh, CW sucks." No, I watch all of them. And there's some things on the shows I like. I like Flash. I like the 4th season of Black Lightning. And I currently like Superman and Lois. If you don't like Superman and Lois and you think it's trash, then something's wrong with you. Just my opinion. This show, like I said, is not perfect. That's why I didn't give it an A plus. But this show taught me a lot about a certain character that was supposed to be the galactic badass by what we saw maybe 6 or 7 minutes of screen time, and anointed him galactic badass. But we saw what happened to him. We saw the progression. We saw what changed him. We saw when when the rubber meets the road, he could be a badass. When him and Mando went out there, I saw badass. On the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, when he came into that man's house, into Jabba's old kingdom, and shot him in cold blood and took his throne, that's badass. When he saw that his friends and sand people get taken advantage of, he went to the bar and kicked 6 bikers' ass and took their shit and came back. That's badass. He bamboozled and then took over the train with the pikes. They're supposed to be galactic badasses, and he took the train. He took control of the train. And he told what he's going to do. The minute he went into the to Jabba's palace and stole back his ship. Him and Fennec, badass. Then he went back and kicked the people who he thought had unjustly killed his people. Badass. So he keeps showing you badass after badass after badass after badass moments, but we still don't want to call him a badass, which totally blows my mind. But that's here and there, because whatever, those of you that think this show is trash and garbage, that's your opinion. Nothing you're going to say can ever going to change my mind. Like, I'm sure whatever I'm saying not going to change your mind. Having said all that, I am a true blue Star Wars fan. I like this show, and I think what he said at the end about maybe this isn't for me is going to go into another evolution of Boba Fett's storyline, and he's going to go back out into bounty hunting or whatever, some kind of adventures. And I think he's going to leave control of Jabba's castle to the Wookiee and maybe the Power Rangers. That's what I think he's going to do. That's going to make. I'm not saying that makes sense. I'm not saying that some people can perceive it as this whole first season being a waste. But like I always say, Disney's not ours. We didn't purchase it. Disney purchased it for $4 billion. So if I was, or if you or anybody else on this panel purchased it for $4 billion, at the end of the day, what they say is going to go. If you don't want to like it, if you don't watch it, you think that Disney Star Wars is trash, stop watching it. But until something changes, then we're going to have to watch and like what we like. If you don't like it, hey, you don't have to beat a dead horse. But I liked it. I'm going to continue to watch it. And I thought that this series taught me a lot about Disney, Lucasfilm, and Star Wars characters that I knew little to nothing about. So I'm happy with the show, happy with the ending, and look forward to season 2.
So you say B+ for the episode, A- for the series. Okay.
And I think we'll see a season 2.
You think so? Okay. Nindroid.
Okay. For this episode, a solid B. For the whole show, a solid B as well.
Okay.
I think this whole show was, for the most part, really good. It brought back my love for Star Wars, at least. I got reminded of it, much more than what Bad Batch did and Visions.
What about Mandalorian?
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. So this brought back, basically after Mando season 2, I've just not been in a real Star Wars mood, like loving Star Wars. But since we saw Luke Skywalker, Mando, and even Boba Fett being a badass in this last episode, I really enjoyed the story that they did, at least. Now, yes, there are lots of problems with it, I will admit, and it is a bit of a mess at points and all of that. So, but honestly, at least I had fun while watching it, and that's it entertained me, So yeah, I hope we get a season 2. Honestly, because I actually do want to see more Boba Fett, more Fennec, and I know this is gonna sound weird, but I want to see more of that interrogation, more of that droid that he's using as the protocol droid.
Oh,
I want to see more of that droid, honestly. Because to me, I thought he was kind of funny in the first half. It's like I thought it was clever that they brought him back and all of that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's like I hope that they do something like they do at least in season 2, because I even liked the other characters that they killed off, like that one Twi'lek girl that was running the whole casino thing. I really enjoyed her character, but then they kill her off. It's like, well, she could have been a reoccurring character for more seasons and all that. So yeah. I do think, though, this is more setting up Mandalorian season 3, that there's going to be a bigger war coming with Thrawn and all of that, because, even Cobb Vanth, the Marshal, is being healed up and all of that. So I think we're going to get, the biggest crossover probably within Mandalorian season 3 or Ahsoka. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say about the protocol droid. I didn't mind it. It just what? So they leave the palace and he walks all the way from the palace to there. Where did he come from? It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
What the hell about it?
Yeah.
That was the worst. I mean, again, I think that goes down to your what you said, editing. It's like, got to think about these things.
Can I ask you a quick question, Chris? I don't mean to interrupt your time.
Yeah, go ahead.
But Louis X Sparrow said he didn't see the version of this that comment chat did. All those points that I point out to y'all, did that not happen in this series?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure that I wasn't.
No, it did, and I think people are going to look at this and they're going to see all the bad in it, or all the things they didn't like more than what was decent in it. That's all right. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I
just want to make
understand.
sure I wasn't hallucinating. That's all.
No, you were not. You were not. Those were in there, so I totally understand, and I agree with a lot of what you said. Austinator, go ahead and tell us what you think of this episode, what you think of the full series, and again, where do you think this is going to put us with the whole Star Wars universe?
Well, for the finale, I'm probably going to give this a D+. I think it was fine, but it was just, for a finale, it was very underwhelming. I wouldn't say it wasn't epic, because there were a couple epic moments in it. I just felt like when it was all said and done, it was just not a great finale. And as the show as a whole, I'd go C+. I mean, it wasn't bad. I will say I did enjoy myself. It's just, the problem is I enjoyed it for a lot of the wrong reasons. It's like 2 of the best episodes didn't even have Boba Fett in it. And then you gave me a half-assed finale. And then the first major portion of the show was just basically flashbacks. It's like, as a whole, the show, it's fine. I could go back and say, hey, I'd rather this than, Loki. I'd rather it than a lot of the MCU shows, but it just, and kind of going into the future of it, do I want to see season 2? No, because I just don't see the point of having it. If you're going to have a season 2, then you got to have Boba Fett in it. Like, that's really, because you can't call the show Boba Fett and don't, show him off for 2 episodes, because it's almost like it's like WandaVision, but WandaVision aren't even in the episodes. It's like, and it's kind of like it's like, I'll give you a CW example. It's like going in to watch Superman and Lois, and then you get a Arrow episode where it's just Arrow fighting a gang. It's like, it's just, to me, that it's like, and this is what, and like you said, Chris, it hits the nail. It's like a nail on the head. It's like, this was just Mandalorian 2.5. It was just, that's all they thought of the show as, and it's unfortunate. Like, this show should not have been used to set up Mandalorian season 3, which is probably going to be the better show. It's like, you sacrificed an entire show just to set up other things. It's like, that's the part that really irritates me. It's like, you have 7 episodes, not 8. You had 7, but you decided to use their time to set up Mandalorian season 3, rather than even doing anything with Boba Fett. I don't see the point of doing a season 2 unless you're gonna actually have Boba Fett do shit. I mean, this sets up Mando season 3, because that's what the show was. It definitely ties into the sequels. Like, again, they did that too, and then they set up the Ahsoka show. Like, I don't know what else really to say other than, would a season 2 be interesting? I guess, but they have to do it in a way where it focuses on Boba Fett. If you don't do that, then what's the point? If you called this show anything else, I would have been fine with it. But you called it Boba Fett. That was a mistake.
Okay, so this episode was what now?
A D+.
D+, and the series?
C+.
C+.
A D+ for this episode.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So, let me start by saying this. One of the issues with this series is that this should have been The Mandalorian and not the Book of Boba Fett. And it should have been the other way around. The Book of Boba Fett should have been Mandalorian Season 1 and 2. Because they took the Book of Boba Fett, or or the movie Boba Fett, whatever they're going to do with Boba Fett, and they took it and made it the Mandalorian. Well, if you're going to do that, and I said this when Boba Fett was brought into the Mandalorian, I said, why are we doing this when we know that the first season, at least, was bits and pieces of the movie that they took, that they put in, and then they made Boba Fett the Mandalorian? It just shows that the Mandalorian muddies up a lot of this, because it's like, that's Boba Fett. Now, granted, I'm not gonna talk that bad about this series, because they did a lot of good things with Boba Fett. They just kind of, again, I blame Robert Rodriguez for not understanding Star Wars completely, because when I watched it, the problems that they did have could have been solved very easily. There's a lot of times when Boba Fett should have been doing more, but when he did do things, like Danny said, the biker gang in the bar, the train heist thing, getting his ship back, the scene where it's him and Mandalorian in this. There are a lot of scenes he appears and is like Boba Fett. Even against Cad Bane, really. I mean, it's almost like, what he did there is he lulled Cad Bane into a false sense of security that he had won, and then he uses the bantha stick, and it's like, okay, fine. It's just like there's a lot of things in this series I thought that they could fix if they just understood it a little better, which leads me to believe that Filoni and Favreau were more just the executive producers that just said, okay, let's do it, and they were more worried about what's going on with Mandalorian Season 3. But with that said, this episode, I give it a B. I mean, I think it could have been better. There's just glaring things like the Fennec Shand part where she jumps off of this building and then she walks through an archway, and that's where she came from. It's like those take you out of that moment, and I think that's the biggest problem Disney has, is taking you out of the moment. They kind of get what they're doing, but they don't always get what they're doing, or somebody isn't there, like Kevin Feige. There's no Kevin Feige to any of this. Somebody who says, whoa, wait a minute, that just doesn't work here. Like, hey, did you just see you had her jump off this roof and then you had her walk through this archway? That doesn't work here. That's not how this works. But I say B for this episode. I'll go B+ for the series. I don't know if there'll be a season 2. I think Boba Fett will be around. I just don't know if it'll be anything more than he's going to tag along with the Mandalorian. They're going to try to make it. They're going to try to pull the Boba Fett storyline of him becoming a Mandalorian into this, and kind of go down that the lost arc of the final season of Clone Wars, which was the bounty hunter arc. I think that if they put him in Mandalorian, there can be a lot more bounty hunting stuff going on. We can kind of split off in 2 different places. We can do a lot more with that. And then if Cad Bane isn't dead, you can explore that arc more with him and Cad Bane, maybe. But if they do a season 2, I think it will be more like what Danny says, more just him being a bounty hunter. But yeah, so I'm going to say B for this for this episode, B+ for the series. I didn't hate it. I think it did some really good things. It just needed to understand a little more what it was really about. And so, with that said, anybody got anything else they want to say?
I think that's why one of the reasons why you put old boy in the back of the tank, because once he get back healthy, he's probably gonna help do Freetown and Mos Eisley or whatever place they.
He might leave it to the marshal. He might let the marshal be in charge of the palace and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he kind of had that in The Mandalorian. He was kind of like that. He was the marshal. He was the guy that, ran that area. And obviously he feels like the the dunes and all of that, the dunes of the Sand Sea and all that were his to patrol, which we saw when Cad Bane came in. What's going on, Anzo? Good to see you here.
What's up, man? I apologize. I fell asleep. I just woke up.
That's all right.
Missed the whole first half of the goddamn Super Bowl. But
you didn't miss much. But let's go through with you really quick. We've already done everything. We were about ready to wrap up, but that's cool. I want to get your overall thoughts of this episode. What you liked, what you didn't like. Then you got to give me a grade for the episode, a grade for the series, and then tell me where this places us in the Star Wars universe. Like, where does this lead us to? Are we going to see a season 2? Is he going to go to the Mandalorian, or what are we going to get? So that's what we need. So go right ahead. It's your show now.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick.
That's fine.
Overall thoughts of this episode, I didn't really think it was that great. I thought the action and the fighting was chunky. Looked sloppy to me. I just thought they could do a lot better with this whole final episode. I will say that I don't think that the Rancor part was as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to look trash and horrible, but it wasn't that bad. Things I liked about this episode, I really did like the way those droids looked. You know what I mean? I thought they looked pretty good. The 3 of them that the Rancor had to destroy at the end, I liked the way the design looked. That was one thing I definitely enjoyed about it. Only thing I could say is when I said this earlier on another stream is that there was one scene where, you know, they're shooting out of the shield and it's no problem, right? But you can't shoot into the shield. I thought that was kind of chunky there because at least in the prequels, right, when those droid decals came on, they had to drop their shields before they started firing. All right, and this one, it was just firing right through the shields. My grade for this episode would be, I think I gave it a D on another stream. So yeah, giving it a D. Where do we go from here? I don't know, because at the end of this whole thing, we get Boba Fett talking to Finn saying, maybe we're not cut out for this. And then it panned to the Power Rangers, making it seem like Power Rangers were going to take over. And I was just like, if this is what they're doing, why the hell did we watch this show? Because if they don't do another season of Book of Boba Fett, or he goes off and does something else, then this whole thing was practically for nothing. It was like a waste of time. So I'm not sure where we go from here. I'm just want to see Obi-Wan and Ahsoka and move on, because this series just didn't do it for me at all. Overall, for the series, I'm giving it I'll give it a C- because it had that one episode that I really did like. The one episode I really did like, one episode I thought was okay, and then the rest I just wasn't feeling at all. So that's my grade. That's my thoughts on the series.
Okay. All right.
You yawning while I'm talking, Danny? What's up with that, man?
No, sir.
I heard that. I'm joking. I'm with you.
B- and B+ is what Basel gave it, which is kind of where I was. B- and a B+. I thought.
So it's
a lot of it.
It's not possible that an individual could go into a situation thinking he wants something, that once he's got it and attained it, finds that it's not for him or her.
Well, I didn't say that. I mean,
I'm just asking the question.
It is possible, but I'm just saying it's like I don't like it. It just feels like this is a waste of a series if that's what they do. You know?
I think that the way that I would have worded it if I were to have written this is him look at the Mighty Morphin mod twins or whatever, and say, you know, this might not be what I thought it was, but I know whose heart's in the right place for this, or something along that lines. Because leaving it and saying this isn't what I want now is okay, but it kind of is like, then why did you didn't notice this till now? And is it because people got hurt, or what is it? Because I don't know. I'm okay with him doing that, and I'm okay if he does leave it to the mods, or in this case, I think he's just going to leave it to the people of that. I think he's going to leave it to the marshal. I think he's going to leave it to the mods. Maybe Black Chrysanthemum. These guys, I think that makes sense and it works. Thing is are they going to go and make this into some sort of series with the mods and stuff? I have no clue.
No, I think we'll see the adventures of Boba Fett. What we'll see is what it'll transition into.
And then he'll just come back and that'll be like his base of operations.
Yep. You'll see maybe you're seeing a Mandalorian show and a Boba Fett that's going to be like bisecting and crossing over on each other. They're going to call each other whenever shits get hard. But we will see the adventures of Mandalorian and the adventures of Boba Fett.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with it in just about any way that you could do it. I didn't hate this episode, so. All right, guys. Well, we're right at an hour. I'm going to start with Anzo and let him tell everybody about himself and his channel and all that good stuff. And then we'll go around through everybody else again. Go ahead, Anzo.
No problem. What's up, guys? Big Ford Entertainment. Sorry I missed the show, like I said, but I wish I could have been here from the beginning. But other than that, man, looks like it was a great show, and holy shit, I just scored a touchdown. With that being said, guys, appreciate it. Khaos crew, this is what we're trying to do. Hope we got some good things coming up. I'm trying to work on the list for the sitcoms.
Shit, you got like 1,000 sitcoms.
Yeah, I just seen Mike sent the list. It looked like he got rid of all the 114 that I need to get rid of. So if you guys see the list that he put there, just tell me if you agree or not, and then I'll just go through those and take off what's from there.
Okay. Really quick, are we taking this week off on our Khaos shows? Do we agree?
Well, he's not doing his. I'm not doing mine, so it's up to you guys.
All right. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's fine. So we're doing this one. When are we doing the countdown or the?
That's up to you guys. You know what I mean. I was thinking like go ahead.
Go ahead. You were thinking what?
No. I was thinking on a Friday, so it's up to you guys.
I can do Friday before 9.
As you guys see,
9. I have another one.
It's going to be a big one, right? So
yeah,
I would like to do it on a day where we can at least give 2 hours to each time we do it.
Well, I can do part of Thursday.
I can do Thursday.
You guys could do Thursday? Okay, I think I can do Thursday too.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Nindroid. Nindroid, tell everybody about yourself and your channel.
All right, guys. You guys can personally find me on my own YouTube channel, Nindroid243, where over there I just uploaded yesterday my final trailer for Episode 9 From the Darkness, my fan project. A lot of people are behind the scenes on that, so guys, go check that out. I also have Galactic Chat on Fridays, as well as our Cobra Kai reviews. So yeah. And guys, just come over and check it out when you can. And thank you, Chris, for having me on this panel. And
absolutely.
Thank you.
Not a problem at all. Let's go to Austinator. Austinator, talk about yourself and your channel, please.
I'm the Austinator. I do a bunch of stuff over on my channel. Last night, me and Angry Care Bears finished off the Nightmare on Elm Street series where we talked about the remake. Next, we are talking about The Matrix. So that's going to be interesting. I do a bunch of stuff over on my channel. I'm basically on everybody's channels at this point. Chaos Central for the roundtables. Real View 3000 for the weekly wrap-up. Nindroid's channel for Galactic Chat, and also Cobra Kai. I'm a bit of a newbie to Cobra Kai because I just started watching recently, which it's fire. You can find me on the Basco Scenario for the Hangouts. You can find me on the Jason Lee Tucker statement for the late night snack show where we talk about a bunch of stuff. You can find me just everywhere. You can find me on my Twitter at the Austinator17. Sometimes I tweet, sometimes I retweet, sometimes I don't. It's a lottery. Come check me out. And also you can find me on the Chaos Central Twitter where I tweet out everybody's shows. Chris, thanks for having me on. This is a great group of people for these roundtables. Group 1, easily the best group out of both, where we actually have different opinions. So, it's like, and we have good conversations. So we should do this again sometime, maybe for Kenobi. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know I don't know.
I'm planning on doing Kenobi.
I think the next upcoming one is Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
What's that, Danny?
Moon Knight's next.
Alzo's doing Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Alzo's doing Moon Knight.
And then we'll see what's going on with Kenobi. We'll go around. We'll figure it out. All right, Danny. Besides the fact that I'm just going to mention the fact that the face mask pull and that was bullshit.
Man, that's bullshit.
I'm just talking about that. It's so obvious that things are shit calls.
Now it's a fucking interception, boy.
Yeah, well, the interception was that was totally legit, but the freaking touchdown was.
This is some bullshit. These Cincinnati Bengals better not win this motherfucking Super Bowl, man.
I'm glad they're gonna win it.
Why not? Right? They're just gonna give it to them.
That's 2 interceptions tonight.
Oh, that's the second one?
Yep, second interception he done thrown.
And it's right there within the 20, man. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're about to score
all right.
again.
Talk about it, Danny.
I'm Danny Graham, aka Comment Chat. You can find me here on this channel Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, you will not find me this Monday because it is Valentine's Day and the boss has to have her time. I don't want to upset the boss because you all know what the boss controls. So, this was a very good series, very good roundtable. I think I liked it better than anybody else. So, I mean, that's good, cool, no matter. We're still going to keep it rolling, keep it moving. I look forward to Moon Knight. I look forward to seeing Black Adam. I'm here waiting patiently. Already saw Doctor Strange, man. Doctor Strange looks like it's going to be fire. So for those of you that like the MCU stuff and the DCU stuff, I think we're going to get our money's worth tonight on these trailers. But again, awesome show. Thanks for the invite again, Chris. And hopefully we'll see Alzo Thursday night, Friday night to do his sitcoms.
Absolutely.
If you didn't see last week's was kind of controversial.
Oh my god!
I ain't saying I'm not upset with it because I was a fan of that show, but other shows should have made the cut that didn't. But
the fact that one of the tournaments, General Grievous, lasted as long as he did is absolutely appalling.
Hey, stop your noise, man. General Grievous is Star Wars, bro. That was definitely
but man, I can't believe Auto Man and Manimal. Man, they get out in the first round. Man, y'all gotta watch them shows, man. Them shows is fire.
Absolutely.
They were.
And I think the next one is going to be fire too, because I seen some sitcoms in there that I forgot about, and I'm like, oh yeah, this one was good too. So interesting.
I know what I want to win, but I don't know if it's going to win.
I know what I want to win too.
Just don't let the chat choose.
No, I think that's the fun of it though, and also those views go way up when the chat's involved.
Yeah, chat has to be involved, man, because like you see the views and shoot, we get almost 30 votes each time. So,
and
all right,
and I'll be real. I picked Knight Rider over the Hulk just so that the fucking chat could vote on
and
that.
And they bite you and they bitch in the ass.
I didn't mind the winner of those two. That's why. But yeah, the chat was racist as fuck. You know what I mean?
All right. I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel. ADHD for YouTube is how I describe it. Don't forget, though, guys, look out for chaoscentral.com. If you guys are somebody who would like to write a review or, write an article for it, by all means, talk to me. We'll get you on there. We'll get that figured out. And then check us out here on Chaos Central. Make sure you sub. If you're not already subbed and you're watching this after the fact, please sub now. If you are subbed, guys, share it out with people you know. Get them here. Talk to them. Say, hey, guys, come check this out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 3 shows guaranteed. Not this week, but most weeks, unless we all agree to take off normally. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Chaos Conversation on Monday. That is 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Chaos List on Tuesday. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then my show, the Rule of 3. I'm sorry. The Rule of 3 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All 3 of those are at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Plus, we do the roundtables and other things here too. So thank you for everybody. Don't forget to tune in here in about 19 minutes. We're going to be going live with the Book of Boba Fett Group 2. So check that out, guys. With that said, thank you for everybody who was here. Thank you to all my panelists. Yes?
That Doctor Strange trailer looks fire, bro.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it looked
Holy
great.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna like to talk about that.
2022 is gonna be better for both organizations based on what we've seen
Facts.
so far.
Facts.
Yep. All right, guys.
Peace.
Thank you for all my panelists. Thank you for everybody who watched today. Remember, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Be right back here. Thank you very much. Peace.